Hey everybody, I am Haley Gray and I'm the group owner in the Women's Entrepreneur Network. I'm also the owner of Fiercely Marketing, a small boutique digital marketing agency where we do websites, social media management, SEO, funnels, ads, all of the digital marketing stuff. If you're on the live, give me a hashtag live. If you're on the replay, give me a hashtag replay and let me know that you are there. I am happy to be back home briefly. And going off here in a few minutes to go fetch my younger daughter. I actually drove up to Virginia last night to go get my youngest son from boarding school. So he is home until mid-January. So mom is really happy. Tonight's topic of conversation is if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to, and there is not going to be a business. It is so hard as moms, as business owners, as wives, as women to put ourselves first. And I am the quintessential example of this. And my behavior in the past has definitely led me down a path where my body made me realize that if I didn't start taking care of myself, there wasn't going to be a me to take care of my family. I hit 427 pounds because honestly, I just didn't have time to focus on me. I didn't have time to focus on food, didn't have the energy, didn't have, that bandwidth to focus on my own needs. And it finally took me having an umbilical hernia and having an appointment with a surgeon who said, look, if you don't have bariatric surgery, if you don't lose weight, you are probably going to die. And this hernia is probably going to come back. We can fix it surgically, but realistically, this thing is going to come back. And I don't know if anybody here has had hernia repair, but oh my gosh. Hey there, happy to see you. It is one of the most painful surgeries I think I have ever had. I felt like I had been kicked by a mule in the gut and there was no escaping the pain. So, hey, Teresa, good to see you. We want to make sure that you are taking care of yourselves and that we are all taking care of ourselves. It took that wake-up call. I was doing everything I could to take care of my oldest daughter and my 3 younger kids and serving macaroni and cheese and pizza and whatever else the kids wanted to eat. And it was tough because it was what they wanted to eat. And thank you, Teresa. I hope people can learn from my cautionary tale of, hey, this is how I hit 427 pounds and how I've lost 175 of those pounds. So needless to say, I am not thin, but I'm a lot healthier than I was. And a lot of that is focusing on sleep. So yesterday and today was a crazy day in my life. My oldest daughter is still hospitalized and we're working on a discharge plan. So part of working on a discharge plan is this whole series of assessments and all of this paperwork. And I'm talking like mountains and mountains and mountains of paperwork. And I'm looking over here at my desk because they sent me another mountain of paperwork and it was 3 hours of an assessment. And then my husband and I hopped in a car to go drive to Virginia because our youngest son goes to boarding school about 4 hours from us in Waynesboro, Virginia, at a small military all boys boarding school, which is absolutely a phenomenal school. So we drove up there last night. And part of that driving up last night was self-care because the old me would have waited until this morning to go drive to go get him. And it's a 4-hour drive. And we drove up last night. We had a nice leisurely dinner on the way up, which made it, of course, take longer. And then, we got a good night's sleep before we picked our son up from school this morning. And yeah, we picked him up and brought him home. And y'all, I took a nap today because I have to leave here in about 30 to 45 minutes to go pick up my younger daughter from Greensboro because she's driving home from Ohio with her roommate from last year. So it is a juggle of a process, right? It's this constant juggling of taking care of yourself, taking care of your business, doing what you need to do on your business when you need to do it, and then doing the things you need to do in your life to take care of yourself. And, I would love to hear, how you guys take care of yourselves. So how do you take care of yourself? And, let's be real here. So I personally am a big fan of naps. People will ask me what my recreational activity is sometimes, and I'll just kind of laugh. But honestly, my biggest recreational activity a lot of times is just taking naps and sleeping. I take 3-hour naps. Usually it's a 3 or a 4-hour process. And I curl up and I get, my blankets on top of me and I build my nest and I'm like laying and I'm like halfway because I leave my blinds open in my bedroom and the sunbeam comes in and I sleep. And that's my happy way. And Patty says, exercise. Good one. Yeah. And could use more sleep. Absolutely. And I do a lot of exercising too, Patty. So I walk almost every day with my husband. I did not get a walk in today, obviously, except for we had to go buy clothes for the youngest on the way home because he grew like that much since we dropped him off in August. And he didn't really want to be wearing school uniforms for his break. So it's a process. So walking daily, getting outside, and 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night. See, that's important, right? Good food to me is important as well. Honestly, this is part of your self-help. That's awesome. Connecting with group like yours and reading the positive posts. Absolutely. And we're trying to keep it upbeat and positive and really talking about the self-care. I can sit here and talk to you marketing strategy all night long, and we can talk websites and we can talk about putting things apart and putting them back together again. And I'm very happy to sell people websites or social media management or whatever. But the reality is, I recognize that one of my things here as group owner in Women's Entrepreneur Network is to talk about the other side of business, which is the human side. And, that self-care piece is important. And I think that we need to talk about the self-care piece and how important that self-care piece is, especially in light of COVID and especially in light of our stress here, right? I mean, it has been a stressful last, few months here, almost 9 months since all of this stuff started with COVID. And that stress has led to a lot of people overeating. It's led to people losing their jobs. It's led to weight gain. It's led to a lot of things. And, the COVID-20 or COVID-25 is really been a thing for a lot of the people I know. And I mean, I understand we're cooped up with our family members, which has been somewhat stressful for many of us. We, sometimes have stress in our marriages and with our partners, and in our relationships and our family relationships. And gosh, I know we haven't seen family since spring. At least my husband's sister and her family. We did go see my brother in Florida, but she has kids and we're supposed to go down there for Thanksgiving. And honestly, I'm not sure that's going to happen right now because her husband got exposed to COVID. My daughter got exposed, the one I'm picking up. She has a negative COVID exam, but then her roommate got sick today. So I'm like, okay, so am I picking up a kid who's sick and bringing her home? I don't know. Fortunately, she's already had COVID once, so she gets it again. It would be a second time. So fingers crossed, she's not going to get it a second time. But, it's stressful when you're not with your family. And we have to acknowledge that our holidays, our vacations, all of those kinds of things that we normally do for self-care. I love travel. We were supposed to go for on a cruise in January, and that's not happening. couldn't justify, my son missing 3 weeks of school because of going on a cruise. So, it's a lot of things where we have to really, really take care of ourselves. And if we don't take care of ourselves, there won't be a business. So share with me how else you take care of yourself. What is your favorite go-to from a food perspective? So nutrition is one of the hugest things for me. For me, flipping my nutrition was one of the biggest points and one of the biggest pivots that happened in my life. So I'll give you an example. For me, it was increasing protein consumption and decreasing sugar and increasing fluids. So it was also increasing and improving the quality of the food that I eat. Nothing exciting. We now do a lot of HelloFresh. I have learned new ways of cooking food. I am such a foodie, y'all. We didn't want to cook tonight because, y'all, I'm feeling a bit tired. I'm feeling a bit lazy after driving almost 10 hours between yesterday and today. And I've got 2 more hours to go tonight because I've got to go get my daughter. And we went out to dinner to a Korean fusion restaurant. And the quality of the food was so important. It was so amazing. So for me, rather than choosing to go somewhere that's fast foodie or that I'm not going to enjoy the quality of the food, choosing places to go where the quality of the food, the preparation food, the level of the food is much better is important. That's a huge part of self-care to me. So if you guys wonder, how did Haley get to 427 pounds? A lot of it was macaroni and cheese and boxed stuff and stuff out of the freezer. We don't do nearly as much stuff boxed and out of the freezer. And it turns out that my 17-year-old really likes to cook. Really, really, really likes to cook. He'll shoo me out of the kitchen and I'll kind of watch him. So we start preparing dinner together. I have to do all the chopping and then he'll do the cooking itself. So it's kind of cute. And it's kind of a really cool bonding time with my 17-year-old that I never thought I would have. It turns out that he's also a tremendous baker. He has discovered a love of baking. So what started off with all the crazy cinnamon rolls for me back in April has turned into him making almost all of the cinnamon rolls. Yeah, you had to change your diet during COVID, increase protein, decrease sugar and carbs. That is amazing how that makes a difference, right? Yeah, for me, decreasing sugar and carbs was huge. Am I perfect? No. But y'all, I feel like a freaking squirrel some days. You probably don't know this because you can't really see it super well. But I have nuts on my desk. I feel like a squirrel. Like seriously. I am the Uber squirrel. Eating nuts and stuff, of my self-care. Because I learned that I had to be mindful of my food choices pretty much 24/7 and watch what I'm eating and how I'm eating it. So putting things in front of myself that were easier, better choices was a huge part of it. So tonight we're talking about self-care. And I'd love to hear your tips on how you take care of yourself. What are your best tips? I'm a big fan also. Anybody else do, mineral salts in your bath? Turns out I'm malabsorptive since I had my surgeries, which means I don't absorb everything I eat, which is good and bad. But one of those minerals that I don't absorb well is magnesium or potassium. But it turns out that I can absorb it just fine through my skin. So lots of hot baths have become a thing in my house. Turns out that works wonders for muscle cramps. And it does a really great job with, relaxation and helping, wind down before going to sleep. Lavender is an amazing, detoxifier, and it's also a really good, thing that calms you down and it reduces inflammation. It's really awesome. So, you know, a bath salts with lavender kind of a mix is really, really cool. And y'all, these things are not expensive. The bath salts I get are from Target, and I want to say it's $3.99 for a bag of the stuff. Patty says, I would love 9 hours of sleep. So, darling, why are you not getting 9 hours of sleep? You know, how can we help you make that 9 hours of sleep happen? Because sleep is one of the most important things. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise are kind of the three big things that we need in order to kind of keep going. So I would love, you know, to hear, you know, if you're not getting enough sleep, why do you not get enough sleep, or how do you not get enough sleep, and what's preventing the sleep from happening, because sleep is important. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card because I don't have a lot amount of time tonight. But I'm enjoying hanging out with y'all, and thank you guys for joining me, and keep dropping your tips on self-care, how you take care of yourself. Oh, and entrepreneurship turns you into a night owl. Yeah, it didn't turn me into a night owl, but it definitely kind of revealed some of those tendencies. And I will say one of my challenges too, Patty, is that I get up and I start meeting with people at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, or I try to not do too many meetings before 10, but that doesn't always work. And what ends up happening is I'm meeting with people all day. And then a lot of times I'm up all night doing the actual work that is involved in the business. So anywho, I am going to pull a card off of my deck. This is my Love Your Inner Goddess deck, which y'all have seen. And maybe I will eventually get myself some new decks, but this is this one. So Patty, I'm going to assume you want the top card. Susan, if you're on there, let me know what card you would like. If somebody else would like a different card, let me know. And I'm going to go ahead and do a pull, and we will see what we get. Ooh. Okay, this one's interesting. I have not pulled this one before. Congratulations. Unofficially landed a new client. Not official until paperwork and payment is received. Absolutely, because they can always bail. Okay, Princess Savior. Even if you feel uncertain about facing a challenge, believe in yourself. You are strong enough to conquer this. There will be help if you need it, but you already have the inner resources required to overcome any obstacle and attain the most blessed outcome. If you are in the process of letting go of something or something, perhaps an old habit, an old way of life, a relationship, or a situation in which you have felt trapped, don't allow insecurity or uncertainties to stop you. You've got this, and you are doing the right thing in moving on. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. Any random card for you? Okay. I feel like this one for you. Let me see. Somebody gave me an angry face. I'm going to guess that was a slip. Okay, Peonia. You are now being blessed with prosperity, abundance, and creativity. To enhance this time of joy and amplify your experience of grace, practice gratitude. Simply be happy from what you have and what is being given to you. The universe loves to keep on giving to those who are grateful and happy to receive, and who give back to life from the heart with gratitude and a positive attitude. This is such a healing time for you. The healer within is awakening, and your ability to give and receive healing energy is becoming more powerful. Your soul connection to animals, plants, and crystals will support your healing and increase your energy to attract and create positive life situations for yourself and others. So there you go. I hope that that was fun for y'all. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin because my daughter is messaging that she's about an hour and a half out. So I am going to go start packing stuff up to go fetch her because I have to leave in about 15 to 20 minutes. We will see you guys soon, and wish me luck driving tonight. Hours 11, 12, and 13 in the last 2 days. So take care. Bye-bye. The things we do as a mom.